This is a nice quick lesson on disabling our submit button, but also providing a safety check inside of our handle submit. So what do we mean by safety check? So let's say we have our create. If we then start hitting submit, in our DevTools console, we can then start see that object being printed out. So what we could do, because we know about property bindings, we can jump onto our button and we want to bind a disabled property. So what we can say is form.invalid. So then if we save this out, we're going to then see as we hover a not allowed cursor. So if we then inspect element, we can expand our DevTools and we have this disabled button. But of course, that can't be it, right? What if a developer decides to come in and edit the DOM, remove that disabled, and then they can now click the button? So we kind of need to be a bit smarter than that because we can then start sending those events. So how can we do in our JavaScript to make things even safer? Well, the answer lies in our form object. So this is one thing I like to do inside of the handle submit. We can say if form.valid or invalid, then we can either return or wrap our form event, in our case, our console log, inside this statement. So we could say if the form is invalid, then we want to go ahead and return. Now, if we're doing a nice one-liner, it might make sense for us to then say, if the form is valid, then we don't want to return. We can implicitly return by just leaving no return statement, because in JavaScript, when it gets to the end of the function, it will essentially return anyway. But this is a final safety check that if the form is not valid, then go and execute things. So we can hit save. We can jump into our code. You can see that we have this not allowed. We can inspect element, jump onto our disabled, delete it. We can now submit. But if we go to our console and start clicking, we cannot see anything in the console. So this is a nice safety measure that I like to add in all of my Angular applications. It means that at this point in time, we are fully satisfied, even if someone has tampered with the DOM, that our form is then fully valid. And we can then pass that piece of data via an event, which we're going to learn about shortly, up to our parent component. So that's it for this lesson. Let's dive into the next one. I've got another really cool feature that I want to demonstrate.